Hello, everybody, and welcome to the X Factor with the Crypto Hipster. This is your host, Jamil Hasan, the Crypto Hipster, where I bring you news, analysis, insights, and commentary, my commentary from all around the world in crypto and blockchain. And today is season 4, episode 20. It's the finale of season 4 and the finale of the X Factor with the Crypto Hipster. We are not being renewed for season 5. I want to first off and thank all of my listeners for your support, through your feedback, through your comments, through all of that. You know, being a friend, being a listener. I appreciate everything and every opportunity I had to be able to bring to you this show for the past 80 plus weeks, 80 episodes, 4 seasons, 20 episodes a season. I want to thank you all for listening. And today I have an amazing treat, and it's going to be covering, mostly Asia. I have a couple things to talk about in the US, a couple things in Europe, mostly Asia. And I want to wish everybody happy and healthy upcoming bull market cycle. This is maybe not be the overall end of my news shows and commentary, but the X Factor, the audio X Factor news show I bring to you Fridays, this is going to be the last one. And all of you are so meaningful for listening to me and be able to have me bring this to you, and I appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's talk about a couple things. First of all, what's going on? In July, there's a Litecoin Summit, the Crypto Hipster podcast, which will continue as a podcast with guest episodes nearly every week, as many as I can bring you. Season 6 is winding down. Season 7's coming up soon. Crypto Hipster podcast will continue. Just the X Factor won't. And I continue to bring you amazing, amazing, amazing guests from all around the world. And I appreciate you, listening. And hopefully, it's going to continue to be educational experiences for everybody. The Litecoin Summit is coming up in July. The Crypto Hipster podcast is a digital sponsor. Not speaking at that event, but I'm sponsoring that event. And it's going to be an amazing event. And if you're in Nashville on the 24th or 25th of July, check it out. And the following 3 days after that, 4 days, is a Bitcoin Summit as well. You might want to check that out too. Bitcoin's roaring. It just noticed this morning just passed 70,000 for an all-time high, which is pretty amazing. And we have a bull cycle coming up, which means you can't go wrong. But there are still pitfalls. There still are places to gain insights. And I ask you to please do that through my guest podcast shows. Thank you. And then right now going on in California is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is holding a summit, an artificial intelligence summit. One of the companies in crypto that's partnering with them is called iExec RLC. It's an amazing project. There are others out there right now. The AI is blowing up. So are meme coins. So are lots of things. So let's enjoy the last episode. And again, thank you very much for tuning in. Now let's talk about a couple things. Okay. I want to talk about who do I want to talk about? FTX, right? So I was a Celsius victim. You know that. If you hear my shows, you know that I was. But we got money back. We didn't get 5 cents on the dollar. We didn't get 2 cents on the dollar. We got 59%. 59 cents on the dollar. It's not bad. It's a start. It's a seed start. You got to start all over again sometimes in life. But FTX also went bankrupt, right? So did BlockFi. But FTX Alameda has reached an in-principle settlement with BlockFi, paying $874 million. The bankrupt crypto firms BlockFi and FTX have reached an in-principle agreement to settle their disputes, with FTX agreeing to pay up to $874.5 million to BlockFi and drop its claims against the firm. Terms of the settlement are subject to approval by U.S. bankruptcy judge John Dorsey in Wilmington, Delaware. The settlement would resolve BlockFi's claims against FTX, totaling approximately $1 billion, and will also see FTX waive millions of dollars of avoidance claims and other counterclaims against BlockFi. The $874.5 million is made up of $185.2 million claim against FTX.com, which represents the value of BlockFi customer assets held on the exchange, along with a $689 million claim against Alameda Research for the loans it received from BlockFi. And there was a Sam Trabucco sighting in San Francisco last week. So if anybody's looking for Sam Trabucco, he was at the Apple store in San Francisco. Check it out. The proposed settlement states that $250 million of the total sum will be treated as a secured claim, which will prioritize payment to BlockFi after FTX emerges from bankruptcy. The remainder is contingent on FTX's ability to first repay its own customers and other creditors. Let me know your thoughts, what you think about that, what's going on there, and then let's talk about the CFTC. A lot of my focus on this show was on the inept nature of how Gary Gensler at the SEC did his job. Also, the 180-degree switch by Elizabeth Warren, knowing that she was in deep trouble this election cycle. Please check out John Deaton, his platform. He's pro-crypto, as opposed to Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army, which she did a 180 so she can get votes and try to trick people. But we're not going to talk about the SEC. We're going to talk about the CFTC. The CFTC chair warns of conflict with the SEC over Prometheum's ETH play. The potential decision by the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, to allow one of its registered firms to custody Ether would effectively class it as a security and put U.S. financial market rules in direct conflict with the head with the CFTC. The head of the commodities regulator has warned both Bitcoin and Ether are commodities, according to the CFTC Chairman Rostin Benham, who testified in a March 6 hearing before the House Committee on Agriculture. Benham was speaking about a decision last month by SEC special purpose broker-dealer SPBD licensed Prometheum to provide ETH custody services. From my understanding, essentially reading the press and talking to my staff who have reached out to SEC, this was an independent decision by Prometheum, Benham said, not me. There's Benham's words, responded to a question about his views on the firm's plans. He says, it is my understanding that this was not all a decision by the SEC. This was an individual decision by the entity Prometheum. And if you ever seen these guys, tell me, rate it 1 to 10. How much do they remind you of used car salesmen trying to sneak something through something? I'm not going to give you a number. It's not my call to say. Just check it out. How greasy wheels are greasier than grease, and how hair oil is like your soul glow. I can't sing. Soul glow. Yeah, I can't sing. You shouldn't ask me to sing. I never would have made it on Coming to America. I don't sing about soul glow, but when I'm talking about greasy haired, snake oil salesmen who look like used car salesmen, nothing against used car salesmen, by the way. The first thing I think of is, you might want to think of is Prometheum. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate it. I love that when people give me their thoughts. I'm going to miss that part of my show. But let's I think that's everything I want to talk about in the U.S. because I've been bashing U.S. politicians for a long time. They deserve it. But let's go across the pond. Let's go over to the other side of the pond and talk about the United Kingdom. UK regulations will allow stablecoins and CBDCs to coexist, says former Bank of BOE fintech lead. A coordinated approach between His Majesty's Treasury, the Bank of England. Yeah, I knew BOE was Bank of England. I knew that. Yeah. And the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, could help the United Kingdom develop regulations that allow cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and central bank digital currencies to coexist. In a conversation with Varun Paul, who has formerly served as the head of fintech at the BOE, the UK's efforts to establish regulations support the use of cryptocurrencies and stablecoins while maintaining investor protection and financial stability. Paul, who's now a senior director for CBDCs and financial market infrastructure at Fireblocks. I heard that. I have a Fireblocks sweatshirt. It doesn't fit. It must be extra large, but it's more like large or medium. Says the UK is closing the gap with the European Union's markets in crypto assets regulation, MiCA, which he describes as the most advanced regulatory framework globally. There was a period where the FCA said that we're not going to regulate crypto in any way because we don't want to endorse it. As a result, the UK fell behind Europe, and it's catching up fast, Paul explains. The UK Treasury published its final proposal in October 2023, outlining its plans to regulate the sector, with companies offering crypto-related activities to be authorized by the FCA. You can see the latest set of publications as trying to position the UK level with the EU and encourage innovation so that London is seen as a fintech center and a crypto hub. It's recognition that the FCA, Treasury, and BOE can't stay quiet on this subject any longer, Paul said. That's smart. Smart, smart, smart. Smart, smart, smart. See, I told you I can't sing. You shouldn't listen to me singing. Okay, ever. That's something you should do. Let's talk about paella. I'm sorry. We're talking about Spain. When I think of Spain, I think of paella. Actually, I have little chubby, I gotta admit, I have little chubby fingers. I do. It used to be when I went to my friends' houses, the parents who were there would look at me and say, Crypto Hipster. I should say Jamil, but Crypto Hipster. When I think of you and I look at your fingers, I think Jimmy Dean sausages. And then everybody would laugh, and they'd break out the Jimmy Dean sausages, and they'd cook them, and they'd offer me my finger. You said, here, have a finger. And everybody else, hey, have a sausage. Everybody laughed and thought it was funny. I kind of missed that. Having friends like that whose parents would roast the hell out of me. But hey, let's talk about Spain. Sam Altman's WorldCoin ordered to stop collecting data in Spain. The Spanish Agency for the Protection of Data ordered WorldCoin to stop collecting and processing data in Spain on March 6th, issuing a temporary order banning operations for a period of 3 months. WorldCoin is a product service developed by Tools for Humanity, a firm founded by OpenAI co-founder and CEO Sam Altman. Its mission, according to the WorldCoin people, is to create a globally inclusive identity and financial network owned by the majority of humanity, with the stated goal of creating a potential path to AI-funded universal basic income. Ugh. The AAPD order claims the agency is investigating complaints that users in Spain aren't able to withdraw consent and that WorldCoin has allegedly collected data for minors. Well, that's illegal. Per a translation via Microsoft, the AEPD, which demands the cessation of the collection and processing of special categories of personal data, as well as the blocking of those already collected, has received several complaints denouncing, among other aspects, insufficient information, the collection of data from minors, or that the withdrawal of consent is not allowed. What you doing over there? What you doing over there at WorldCoin? Come on. Why don't you tell us why you're collecting data on minors? What's going on? Why? You know what? You don't have to tell me. I'm going to ask my audience. Let me know your thoughts. You can text me, you can message me, you can send me a Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Note, whatever you want to do. Let me know your thoughts on this matter because it's out of control, right? Okay. We're gonna go all the way to Asia. Okay. We're gonna start with Hong Kong. I know there's other countries in Asia. There's other stuff going on. I'm gonna start with Hong Kong because it's probably the easiest to talk about. Hong Kong launches Project Ensemble to support tokenization with the CBDC. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority, HKMA, will launch a project to create a new wholesale central bank digital currency, WCBDC, which I guess is standing for Wrapped, to support tokenization. Dubbed Project Ensemble, it could result in the issuance of a live CBDC if there's sufficient interest, the HKMA said. The project will center around innovative infrastructure for interbank settlement using WCBDC. Its initial focus will be on tokenized deposits, that is, tokenized commercial bank money, for use in transactions with tokenized assets. The first step in the project will be the creation of a sandbox that will research and test tokenization use cases that include, among other things, settlement of tokenized real-world assets, for example, green bonds, carbon credits, aircraft, electric vehicle charging stations, electronic bills of lading, and treasury management. The HKMA will also form a WCBDC architecture community that will consist of local and multinational banks, key players, and the HKMA CBDC expert group, which was formed in October and consists of 11 academics from a variety of fields and universities in Hong Kong. In addition, the HKMA will seek participation from other central banks and international organizations. Sounds really interesting. Let me know what you think about it. I would love to know what you think about it. And then also in Hong Kong, the SFC blacklists fake crypto exchange websites. The Hong Kong financial regulator, the Securities and Futures Commission, SFC, has identified and blocked fake websites impersonating major local cryptocurrency exchanges. On March 4, the SFC issued an official warning against multiple suspicious websites impersonating 2 licensed crypto trading platforms. The online perpetrators created several fake domains impersonating 2 licensed exchanges in Hong Kong, including OSL Digital Securities and Hash Blockchain Limited, also known as HashKey. According to the announcement, the SFC blocked a total of 6 websites, including hskxpro.com, hskex.com, hskexs.com, hskexit.com, oslexu.com, and oslint.com. Wow. The measures followed reports of fund withdrawal difficulties and high fees and commissions for withdrawals. Per the SFC's request, the Hong Kong police force has taken steps to block access to the relevant websites. Are you affected by this? Question: are you affected by this? Let me know your thoughts. If you are, your experience, let me know what's going on. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to Montenegro. Well, that's not really Asia, right? Montenegro. Somewhere on the map. It's not in Antarctica, but the High Court is going to extradite Do Kwon to South Korea. And that's the Asia part. The High Court of Podgorica, Montenegro, has ruled that Terraform Labs co-founder and former CEO Do Kwon should be extradited to his native South Korea rather than the United States, according to various media reports. The decision is still subject to appeal. An appeals court overturned the High Court's earlier decision to extradite Kwon to the U.S. on March 5, citing significant violations of the provisions of criminal procedure. South Korea filed an extradition request in March 2023, which was initially refused in the favor of the U.S. request filed 2 days prior. Kwon has been held in prison in Montenegro since his arrest at the Podgorica airport, where he was attempting to travel to Dubai using an alleged fake Costa Rica passport. Oh, that sounds like a movie. Sounds like a, True Lies movie or something, like some kind of adventure or like action, thriller kind of like, thing. The Wall Street Journal reported that Montenegrin authorities have been alerted to Kwon's presence in the country by a tipster the day before his intended flight. According to the Wall Street Journal, Kwon had expressed a preference to be extradited to South Korea, saying he would like to be closer to his family. His lawyers called into doubt the validity of the treaty that would allow Kwon's extradition to the U.S. Kwon reportedly faces a 40-year prison term in South Korea. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's the way. Okay, so let's go to Philippines. All right. Philippines government has blocking unlicensed crypto exchange sites, but Binance is unaffected because Binance is not an illegal site, by the way, for those who pronounce it Binance. The Philippines National Telecommunications Commission has started blocking websites of crypto companies offering investment products in the country without the necessary licenses. On March 7, local media outlet Pinas, not Penis, reported that the websites of crypto firms MyTrade and OctaFX were now inaccessible through one of the country's largest internet providers. The NTC issued an order on February 21 to internet service providers requiring them to block applications and websites of MyTrade for violating regulations enforced by the SEC of the Philippines. The NTC's action follows a request from the SEC to block websites of crypto platforms operating without license in the country. The SEC chairperson and CEO Emilio Aquino said the NTC's action will help prevent investment scams in the country. And that's Philippines. Okay, let me know your thoughts if you have any thoughts on that. And then we are going to run over to Taiwan. Okay. I said we're going to focus on Asia today. Taiwan to introduce new digital currency laws in September. The Financial Supervisory Commission, FSC, has announced that it will propose a new draft of digital asset regulations for Taiwan in September 2024. The upcoming draft bill will aim to create more effective regulations for digital asset markets and to assure the safety of investors, said Huang Tianmu, chairman of the FSC. The speech also cautioned investors of the potential fraud risks associated with digital currencies and warned that strict administrative penalties will be imposed on merchants trying to defraud investors. We should have penalties on VCs lying to investors, and it happens all over the world, right? VC shills lying to investors, TikTokers making stuff up, YouTubers talking about price. Why is that not illegal? I don't know. It's an aside. I digress. Huang's speech emphasized the growing interconnection between digital assets and the traditional financial system, where the former endangers the latter. The committee will also develop laws to protect the stability of the legacy financial system from the risks of digital assets. So basically, I hear what that there is they're running scared. They're scared that digital assets will overtake the traditional financial system. And guess what? Maybe, possibly, probably, and likely, it should. Bitcoin is a much better investment than, I don't know, fiat that's manipulated by, money printing, for example. But you might have a different view on that. Let me know what you think. Final Asia article is going to go to India. India could have been my start. I decided to end there because we're going to go to the Middle East next. India tells tech firms approval is needed before releasing new unreliable AI tools. The Indian government issued an advisory to tech companies developing new artificial intelligence tools that they must be approved by the government prior to release. According to the advisory released by the Indian IT Ministry on March 1st, the approval must be granted before the public release of AI tools that are unreliable or still in a trial phase, and such tools should be labeled for possibly providing inaccurate answers to queries. The ministry added availability to the users on Indian internet must be done so with explicit permission of the government of India. Additionally, the advisory asked platforms to make sure that their tools will not threaten the integrity of the electoral process, as general elections are anticipated this summer. This new advisory comes shortly after one of India's top ministers called out Google and its AI tool Gemini for its inaccurate or biased responses, including one saying that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been characterized by some as a fascist. Google apologized for Gemini's shortcomings and said it may not always be reliable, particularly for current social topics. Oh, okay. So AI for them is used only for history. Got it. Let me know what you think. I said we're going to go to the Middle East next. Let's talk about Nexo, because Nexo is next. Nexo puts recent woes behind it with Middle East license approval. Crypto lending platform Nexo is looking to set aside its problems in Bulgaria and the US after its Dubai entry received initial approval from the Emirates Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, VARA. The initial approval awarded to Nexo Services, FZE, will be for virtual asset lending and borrowing, management and investment and broker-dealer services. The company must now navigate through the subsequent phases, obtaining a preparatory license, followed by the final operating license to fully offer those crypto services to regional clients via its mobile and web platforms. Kalen Metsudiev, co-founder and managing partner of Nexo, described the initial approval as stepping stone for our ongoing global expansion, resulting in now 7 million clients across the world. Congratulations, Nexo. That's pretty cool, you know. And then Binance, we're going to go to Africa, Middle East Africa. Binance is going to seize all Nigerian Naira transactions by March 8, which is today. Major global cryptocurrency exchange Binance is exiting the Nigerian market, announcing the full discontinuation of all services in local fiat currency, mainly the Nigerian Naira. Binance officially announced on March 5 that the platform will suspend NGN withdrawals, which is Nigerian Naira, withdrawals after March 8. From March 8, any remaining NGN balances in users' Binance accounts will be automatically converted to Tether, the Tether stablecoin, number three coin in the world, by the way. The exchange has encouraged users to withdraw NGN, trade their NGN assets, or convert NGN into crypto prior to the discontinuation of these NGN services. Please note that the conversion rate is calculated based on the average closing price of the USDT/NGN Tether divided by Naira trading pair on Binance Spot in the last 7 days. The announcement said Binance will also immediately suspend Naira deposits, such as transactions, will not be supported after 2 p.m. UTC on March 5, which happened already. Yep. So that's it. That's it. I want to thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for every time you tuned into the X Factor with the Crypto Hipster. This is not the end. It's just the beginning. It's the beginning of the bull run. It's the beginning of the bull cycle. It's the beginning of a new paradigm, a new news shifts in crypto and blockchain, and maybe even possibly in the future, a new format for the X Factor with a different name. And it might be video. We'll see. For now, that's all she wrote. Keep tuning in to the Crypto Hipster podcast, which is my guest podcast with amazing founders, entrepreneurs, executives, artists, co-founders, you name it, all over the world. That is going to continue. And then check out my books on Amazon. I currently have 287 and counting, and working on the next few right now. My job is to educate, inform, and the best way to do that is number one, have podcasts, and number two, have books. So there's permanency, and to all of this. So one day people can look back and say, and if they ask what happened here, you know, the Crypto Hipster podcast and the X Factor happened here. I wish everybody wonderful bull cycle, a wonderful market, wonderful returns. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Godspeed. Love you all.